Okay, we're now going to start to move on into creating the back teeth over here. So the first thing that we want to do is just do the middle mouse button to kind of rotate this over here. And what I want you to notice is that when we created the front teeth, you'll notice that these two teeth over here, you could say that they share a similar design as to how they were created. And this tooth over here shares a similar design to this tooth, but over here, if you rotate this, you can see that it has a point over here, okay? And now these two teeth over here also share a similar design together. So what's going to happen is that when we create these three teeth, they're going to share a similar design together. Now the thing to understand about teeth in general is when you create the top teeth have to be able to rest very comfortably on the bottom teeth. This has to do with being able to grind your food when you're eating it, right? So if you put your top teeth and bottom teeth together right now, you'll notice as to how this whole area basically joins together, right? It's like the top teeth are resting very comfortably on the bottom teeth, and this is going to come down to really these wedges over here, these valleys and these hills, right? They have to be able to fit correctly on top of here so they're not resting on these points over here, okay? So this is where when you start doing 3D modeling like this, you'll start to understand at a deeper level how the human anatomy actually works. Okay, so what we're going to do is go over here and make sure that your snapping is enabled and you're back on increment over here. You want to make sure that you're switched to global and you're back on median point. Here I'm just going to switch to edit mode over here under mesh, edges, and we're going to be using this shortcut key again, Control A, so make sure it's there. So here I'm just going to A to deselect everything, A to select everything, and just press the period key to home in on this and A to deselect, okay? Now, since we're going to be modeling this tooth over here, we want to be able to look at this from the other side, meaning with the Control 3 key. So this guy is going to come in the way. So you want to come to the modifiers tab and make sure that you click this off, display modifier in edit mode. Just click it off and you'll be able to work on the other side. So let's go ahead and just zoom in, shift middle mouse button over here. So just like before, we're going to use similar techniques over here. I'm going to do Control R, add an edge loop, left click and then right click. Now I'm going to press the period key to home in on it so I can rotate around it with my middle mouse button. Now you're going to do Control R. Again, you have to hover your mouse on the edge. Control R, left click and right click. And we want to do the same thing over here. Control R, left click and then right click over here. Now we're just going to rotate this over here and do Alt and just right click this. So it selects this whole edge loop over here. Now notice that how this is kind of box shaped. So first we're going to press the S key like we did before, and we're going to scale it in 1, 2, and then 3. Now to make this boxy shape go away, just do W and then a smooth over here. So we'll make it more circular. So when you do that, it's going to kind of push it up. So just go to the right view by pressing the 3 key and bring this down 1 nudge over here. And then just do A to deselect everything. What you want to do now is click on the edge select mode and just rotate over here. You want to select on this edge, shift key down this one, and then rotate over here. Have the shift key down, click on this edge, and just do W and then smooth 1 time over here. And then we're just going to rotate and click on this edge, press the 3 key to go into the right view, and we're going to take it to the left 1 time like this. Then you're going to click on this edge. So this edge is really in the middle over here, right? You press the 3 key to stay in your right view and just take it out 1 time like this. Now we're going to go to the other side, just do the middle mouse button to rotate. Click on this edge, shift key down, and this one, and just do W and then smooth. Now we're going to click on this edge. This is why we remove this, because now when we do Control 3, you can see that we can see the tooth from inside. So just do the green arrow and take it to the left 1 time over here. Okay, so now we're going to approach the top here a little differently than we did on these teeth over here. So do Control R and add an edge loop over here. Left click and then right click. Now go to your top view by pressing the 7 key. You're going to click on the vertex select mode, click on this vertex, shift key down this one, and this one. We're going to scale this. So we're going to move your mouse kind of like over here and press the S key to scale and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 over here. Okay, now if you do a middle mouse button, you can see that how we're going to be able to get these crown shapes like a castle on top. So here we're going to click on this vertex first. Press the 3 key to go to your right view and press the Z key to go into wireframe so you can see how you're moving this. I'm going to click on the blue arrow and just bring it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then just do the Z key over here to go to solid view so you can see that how we've taken this shape in. We're going to click on the vertex select mode again. Make sure that you're on it. Click on this vertex, shift key down this one, and this one. We're going to have to bring this up. Press the 3 key. Notice where this is. Remember I said that there has to be some sort of a curve over here. So we're going to bring it around where this is. So here I'm just going to do, click on the blue arrow, do 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this is going to start to bring it up like so over here. So let's go to the top view over here. And what we want to do is click on the edge select mode, click on this edge, shift key down this one, this one, this one. Okay, I'm actually going to rotate this so you can see this a little better. Okay, now remember when we did the V key, it would separate the entire neck, and we also used it for the toes and the fingers. And when we were creating the bottom of the fingers, the folds, we did Alt V. So over here, that's what we're going to do. If we do Alt V, you'll see that what it does, it splits it like this. Now you have to click the left mouse button to confirm this. So basically what it's doing the same thing that we've experienced before with the Alt V. Remember when we were creating the bottom folds of the fingers. So over here, I'm going to make sure that I'm just going to select this. I'm going to press the shift key down, click on this one, and this one. I'm not sure why it does it this way where it deselect this. Now you're going to do W smooth and you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Now notice that you get this hole in the middle. So we can just do Alt, click on this, and do F. And if you do tab, you can start to see how this tooth is starting to become very realistic very quickly, just using that powerful Alt V technique. I'm going to do tab to go into edit mode over here. Now I just want to point something out to you. Over here, you see these triangles? Over here, we're going to keep this in. This is because we have the subdivision modifier and we know that these are going to be quads. Now I just want to point this out. Keep an eye over here. If I go over here into the object, click on the wire and go into solid view, notice that when you have these types of triangles on the subdivision, it's obviously going to create the quads. We already understand this, but look what happens over here. It gives you extra quads over here. So this means that you can use these special triangles to create that extra detail, those extra quads that you need to be able to have them exist over here, right? So what this means is if I do tab over here to go into edit mode, I'm just going to click this off. You don't have to come in here and create more edges just to make this into a quad. You can actually create these special triangles in this way to get those extra quads in here, right? It's again just understanding how the subdivision modifier works, right? It's always going to give you quads regardless. Anyways, do A to D select over here. So now we're going to make this a little more realistic. So basically we have to make sure that it follows the general rules of how a tooth is, and we need to have some idea of randomness to this to make it look more organic. So I'm going to click on this edge over here. I'm going to do Control A. Okay, so see how this is now starting to become a little more random over here. I'm going to click on this one, do Control A to go this way, and on this one I'm going to do Control A to go this way. I'm going to do tab to show you that how this is starting to become more and more random over here. Okay, so now we're just going to press the S7 key to go to the top view over here, and here I'm just going to click on the face select mode, click on this face, shift it on this one. Okay, and here I'm just going to move it up and to the left over here. I'll click on this one, and just going to move it down to make it a little more random. Then over here, if you look on this side, what we need to do is actually bring this area in. See, because the gums over here, if you look at it from this way, how this is coming. So I'm just going to move it in. Okay, so I'm going to click on the edge select mode, click on this edge, shift key on this one, and this one. I'm just going to do W and then smooth. Over here you'll start to see that it comes in. If I do W smooth again, it'll be a little more, right? So if I do tab, you can see that how this is coming in. So you can add these random ideas over here. Okay, so And when we do that, you can see that how we get this really nice feature on this tooth over here. And if you do 3, you can see that how this is starting to come along over here. Okay, pretty straightforward as to how these concepts are working. Okay, now, so here we're going to leave this tooth alone over here. Just do A, and we're done with this. So let's go ahead and actually click on this to put that idea back. So if I do tab, everything's back the way it is. And here I'm just going to go ahead and just position it like this. And let's go ahead and just save this over here, file, and then save. Okay, let's actually switch this to tools so we don't accidentally click something over there. Okay, so what I want to show you over here is a few things in Blender that you should be aware of. Okay, so these are some features that you want to just be aware that how they work. So if I press the 1 key over here, you can see that I'm going into the front view over here. Okay, we can tell that this is the front view. And again, if I press the 5 key, I'm in perspective mode. See, front perspective. So right now I'm just talking about the ortho view over here, right? So here's the front view, and if we press the control 1, we know that we're going to end up in the back view over here. Okay, now I'm going to press the 1 key to go into the front view. Now I'm going to press the 3 key to go into the right view, and we know that when we do control 3, it's going to go into the left view over here. Okay, so now if we press the 7 key, we end up in the top view, and if we do control 7, we end up in the back view. And in the same way, if we press the 1 key in the front view, if we press the 9 key, it just switches to the opposite, right? So you can press 9 here like this to quickly switch. If you press the 3 key and do 9, you can do the same thing. If you press the 7 key and do 9, it does the same thing. And we know that if we press the 0 key, it just switches to camera view, right? This camera over here. We have it off, but it still shows you what this is. If you press the 0 key again, it'll just snap out of it, okay? So that's one concept over here. Now I'm just going to press the 1 key to go into the front view over here. Now if I press the 2 key, you can see that it's rotating, right? It's basically rotating on the x-axis over here. And if I press the 4 key, I can rotate it this way. But if I do the 2 key now, you can see that it's basically doing the same thing. So this is really just based on the view, right? The 2 key, it's always just going to be based on the axis. Just imagine that the axis over here it's going up z, just like on the front view, right? ZX, this never changes. This is what it looks like in the view. So imagine that this thing never changes. If I do the 2 over here, if I press 4, I can rotate, press 2 over here like this. So of course you have to get used to how to use this. And if you press the 8 key, you can go backwards, right? So if I do the 1 key to go to the front view, if I press 2, it goes up. If I press 8, it comes down. Okay, if I press 4, it goes to the right. If I press 6, it goes to the left. So now if you press the 1 key to go to front view and press 2, you can see that it goes up. Now if you do shift 2, you can see it doesn't do anything. But if we do shift 4, it's basically rotating. So this was 4 going this way, and this is 4 rotating basically here right in the center. Okay, let's take a look at the shift 6. Okay, so this is 6. I'm going to press the 1 key to not cause confusion. This is 6, and shift 6 is rotating this way. So if we press the 7 key, okay, let's actually press the 8 key first. So 8 key and do shift 8, and it doesn't do anything. Okay, so now what I'm going to now introduce you to is a new view. So here when I press the 1 key, I'm in the front view. Now look what happens when I do shift 1. Okay, it's switching to user ortho. Basically, it's giving you the local view of the object. So if I press 1 over here, it's like this. Okay, so let's say that if I'm positioned like this, if I do shift 1, it's giving me the local view. If I press 1, it's giving me the global. So you can see that the grid, you can really only use the grid in Blender in this way with these subdivisions when you're in the global view and you press 1. Okay, now we're going to understand this a little better. What is this shift 1 over here? Okay, so what I want you to do now, remember, you're not going to save anything over here. I want you to press the let's go to the right view here first. just press the R key and just rotate it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't really matter how you rotate this, okay? So now if I press the 1 key, you see how this is now the front view and this is the right view because we rotated this. But what if I want to look at this object from the top just the way it was when it was not rotated? So now if I press the 1 key, if I do shift 1, okay, it's showing me the front over here, okay? And if I want to look at it from the top, if I press the 3 key, if I want to look at this from the top, I really want to do is look at the local axis. You see how the Z is over here? So that means when I press the 7 key, I'm in the top view. If I do shift 7, I'm in the local top view. So this gives you the ability to actually modify the objects based on their local axis, right? So now to get a deeper understanding of this, I'm just going to press the 1 key over here and just rotate this. Now just press the R key 2 times. If you press R 2 times, you can really rotate this in any way you want. So I just want you to rotate it in this very complex way over here, okay? Now press the 1 key. See how this is rotated? Now if you bring up this over here, click on transform, you can see that what we're doing is actually changing the rotation of the object, okay, over here. So now if I press the 1 key to go into the front view, I really want to look at it from this angle, okay? So let's take a look at what's going on. I want to look at it on the y-axis. So if I press the 1 key and do shift 1, now I'm looking at it from the y angle on the local, right? So 3, here's the right view. If you do shift 3, it's looking at it from this. Now again, you can't use the grid. You can see that the grid is completely rotated over here because this is based on the global axis. So you would have to actually turn off snapping to even edit anything. So if I click this off, click on tab over here, right? If I do Alt H to bring everything back over here, now I can click on this and move things around based on this local view over here. But you're not going to be able to really use the grid snapping on this. It still works, but it's going to be a big movements like this, okay? So anyways, just make sure that you are aware of how you can do this, okay? Now, over here, you can see that this is rotated over here. So we're going to talk about this concept here in depth a little later. Because this is really important concept over here. These actually, you don't want to save your object like this rotated or exported because this can cause a lot of problems later on. But here I just want you to notice that these rotations over here, the mirror modifier really depends on what's going on over here, right? So you can see that here, if I click this, I should go into tab, edit mode. If I click this, see how the mirror modifier is working just fine. If I do the Y over here, I can even do the mirror modifier over here. Actually, you can do this in the object mode. You can do the Z. It can the mirror modifier works based on these locations over here, okay? Now, just to show you really quickly, I'm gonna take this off. If I go under object and come over here, apply rotation, what this is going to do is going to reset the entire rotation over here. Notice it became 0. It basically told the object that you need to exist just the way it was rotated, as if the object was given birth in that way, right? If I get rid of the mirror modifier, you can see that what it's doing, it's assuming that this is how you actually created the object in this angle. And this is why when you do that apply, it zeroes out everything and rotates it this way. But look what happens that the mirror modifier, it no longer works correctly, right? Over here, if I click it, it's not going to work. It's because now it's basing everything on this. Everything gets messed up over here, right? So this is how the mirror modifier works. Basically, it's dependent on these rotations. So I'm just going to go ahead and just reload that file over here. Remember, we saved this one. We don't want to save any of the changes that we just did. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to leave this like this, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Thank you.